139, episode 139, Moto Academy podcast. Hey, you're hired. Tour manager.
Thanks, mate.
Al?
What's that? What does that consist of? Because
I don't
know.
I can tell you right now.
Go on.
Do you want me to
lay it out for me?
train you?
Train me.
Okay.
Am I receiving anything? Or
Find inner peace is step one.
We did that earlier.
You got to continue to do it.
Oh. That wasn't
That's the catch.
part of the.
That's the key.
Okay.
You gotta do it every single day, multiple times per day.
How do you do that?
Good question.
Maybe we can talk
A
about
lot
that.
of different ways. We were just talking a minute ago. We're in England. Should we preface this podcast at all? Probably.
Yeah.
We're in England. Where in England? Cornwall?
Saltash in Devon.
Saltash.
Devon.
Salt ash or salt ash?
Saltash. Salt ash. So don't say the T. Salt ash. Try it.
Salt ash.
It's good. Devon.
Devon. Salt ash.
Yeah. Getting ready for
We're in
class
Salt
at
Ash.
Landrake?
Landrake, we
Tomorrow.
have sold out class tomorrow, and then we have sold out class Moto 101 on Thursday and Friday.
Yep. Buzzing.
But buzzing, blimey, a lot of B words. And this is are you our newest employee?
Yeah. Yes?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Welcome to the team.
Welcome to the team. Newest employee, Al. So he's our tour manager, which is actually quite a big deal. I don't want to put any pressure on you or anything, too late. Because I've decided that we're scaling big time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, that's all we have to preface. So what was your question?
How do you find inner peace? And if there's multiple ways.
So what I was saying earlier, and I was joking, but I wasn't joking. I have a pretty quiet inner monologue. Like I only know me. But I think in comparison to just speaking to others and what they experience, I don't have a whole lot of inner chatter going on at the moment.
Has that always been the case?
Sometimes yes and sometimes no. I think that in the past, yes, but I was not necessarily present. I think I do a better job now of combining that stillness. I think before it was like, I wasn't even there. I was not present. That's a good question. Now the inner monologue is limited, which is good. But I still find myself having to meditate 5 times a day. So you constantly kind of fall out of it, and then you have to take a moment, catch yourself, and reset.
So your meditation then is like it's a call to action when you feel it's required. Like you'll think something's either triggering me or I can feel something stirring.
Sometimes.
So you'll act.
If I feel something coming, 100%. But I'm also doing it proactively too. I'd say it's a good mix. Sometimes I do it because I'm feeling good.
Interesting.
So I'll start to feel good, and then I'll just sort of lean into that a bit, and then just take a moment and really pause in whatever I'm doing.
It's almost
Right?
from like a grateful position.
Right. I find that a lot on planes. I don't know if it has to do with the elevation or the altitude.
Lack of oxygen.
Lack of oxygen. But yeah, I catch myself on planes a lot. I think it's because I read a lot when I'm on the plane. And when I read, I catch myself getting into certain states of like gratitude that I just have to shut the book and kind of do my thing.
Breathe it in.
Mm-hmm. But yes, I do also, if things are going a little haywire, try and catch myself. What about you?
So I think I'm the exact opposite, I'd say.
Always
I think my
always kind of reacting a
my
little
inner
bit.
dialogue is explosive. constant. It's sometimes I feel like I've even got like a second person in there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not even just my own dialogue. Sometimes it feels like it's out to get me. And I don't think that's always been the case. I think that's something that has developed, or perhaps I've nurtured. Maybe I have.
No, you definitely have.
Maybe I've made friends with it.
By the way, my opinion would be that any inner dialogue is out to get you. Because any inner dialogue is only stemming from some identity that you've clung to one way or another, right?
I just don't ever remember it being a problem. I don't remember it being something that, like, I think growing up, I've always struggled with my kind of self-image and low self-esteem and all those kind of things.
You always did?
Yeah, always, far back as I can remember. No, actually, yeah, no. So I think I was about 13 when that shift happened in my head, where I was suddenly like, "Whoa, people are judging me, people are looking at me," and which I now understand is.
What was the catalyst for that? Just getting into your teenage years and
being honest and transparent. I think it was my body changing.
Yeah.
Just becoming a teenager. Just suddenly, I changed, and I wasn't. I mean, we were talking earlier, right, on the drive about identity, and I think a big part of that, for me, was identity, and I guess I cling to who I am inwardly, and that doesn't always represent externally, so I don't always project how I'm inwardly feeling, but I know that I can relate to. I guess I can relate to both, the inward and outward. Ow.
You do definitely tell stories. Not tell stories. You speak out those identities often.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I don't know if I'm extra heightened to it.
Yeah.
But
yeah, you're annoying because you're always picking me up on it.
Every time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's
a good thing.
Critically important.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter if you're being sarcastic or joking or even trying to be like have humility and be humble or downplay something. Because I used to do that on my YouTube channel. I would sort of like over dramatize nerves or anything I was feeling just to try and create a better storyline and or sound more relatable.
Do you know what's weird, right? Jumping on the back of that, I think I self-sabotage.
Is this guy teeing up? 100%.
Yeah, we're going to get hit by a golf ball, but I think that might be good content.
Is he?
He's either teeing up or...
Yeah,
he's teeing up.
Back.
Yeah.
Should we...
Yeah, we should definitely...
I wouldn't mind you guys getting hit, but if this gets hit,
yeah.
I'm crying. Yeah, he's definitely teeing
Yeah,
up.
well,
Did
damn.
you send it?
I mean, the likelihood of... Would he not want to swing if we were right here?
Yeah, he won't want to
won't?
swing. No. Damn.
What are the chances? The only guy in the golf course?
I think he's going to do it.
Are you able to leave the tripod there so that way you easily locate
The spot?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, just go.
Yeah, I think
Is he teeing off? Is he teeing off this way though?
Yeah. You're good. He's got it.
If we see the ball coming, we'll just move.
Well, yeah, what are the odds? He's the only...
God damn it.
Are you still recording?
Yeah, I haven't stopped, yeah. Slight intermission. Did you swing?
Yeah, it's in the air to your left. It's not.
Yeah.
Good.
Where the...
My guy's just like, you guys are crazy, man.
Yeah, we should be safe now because he'll be aiming
Yeah, he'd be aiming
that
across
way.
there now.
I mean,
Yeah.
that was a
The
good
ball,
hit.
it's over here. It's the left. It's fine. But that does.
It wasn't, I mean, it was kind of close, but
That
not
does
really.
suggest that there'd be more.
I'm worried about the next, like...
So you were saying that when I over dramatize for YouTube, you said off the back of that? What
Yeah,
did
so
you
I was thinking I probably self-sabotage, because if I, for example, I'll preface it, like if I was nervous about something, if I say I'm nervous, then I'm kind of clarified it to everyone around me that if it goes wrong, I've almost got collateral, right? That I told you it would go wrong, right? So when it goes wrong, I've got kind of backup. I've got this emotion in the bank that I can use as kind of like, I told you. I said
I
that.
would do that before races, and I would say I don't feel well.
Yeah. So I've done that so many times.
Even if it were
still
just
do.
borderline,
And then if you
that way it was like
you go out and
exactly
don't
what you said.
qualify, you
Then
kind
I've
of go,
got something to,
I told you I wasn't well.
yeah. And also I would use that as like a, set my expectations low so that way in my head I had a chance of succeeding. So it was a little game in that way too. But
For sure.
it was a subconscious
Yeah.
self-sabotage, no question.
Yeah. And I think I definitely, I'm guilty of that, without a doubt.
So now I've learned to be really, really hyper aware of the language that you're speaking, right? Like the book. Did you start reading that book?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blew my mind.
Yeah. Liberty
the liberty of the language
Revealed by Thomas Blackwell, I think it's by.
Yeah. And
So,
did I tell you my book's signed?
yeah, that's crazy.
Amazing. So
I
I
don't
got it
think mine is.
secondhand.
Mine was gifted to me too, so maybe I'll have to go check. So I remember at Fast Farms, I forget who gave it to me because this was 4 years ago now at this point, gifted me this book, and it was in the top 5 of first 5 books that I read on my journey, which is wild. So that was right at the beginning, and that book just talked about, a lot of it actually was using just your daily interactions with people to change that dialogue and to choose different, instead of when somebody says, how are you? And just defaulting to,
I'm good.
I'm all right. I'm okay. I'm good. How are you? Like, say, I'm amazing. It's simple
Yeah.
things like that. But, or
So would you do
precision
that
of
even if it
language.
wasn't honest?
what?
So if you were to say like,
Oh,
somebody, yeah. So you not lie. That's the wrong way to say it. But you trick your own inner voice by going, yeah, I'm great. When you're inwardly, you're like, no, I'm not. I'm not good.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to.
Interesting.
That's what basically, all right, let's keep an eye on him.
He's gonna go, and then there's like somebody like a
You're-
line of like 3 people.
Oh, is there?
Damn.
Okay.
They're like 2 holes out, so
Okay.
he said he's not worried about any of us, but there will be.
Do you want to move now?
No, we got time.
There you go. You hit?
No.
You
No, you practice one.
This is probably like really distracting.
Oh, we messed them up.
Yeah, you missed it.
We definitely messed him up. He definitely wanted to go straight where we were.
Yeah.
Not really. No, he's dead center in the fairway.
He said he's
I feel like we should move.
No.
probably don't stop till we get kicked out.
Yeah.
We're rolling American today, boy.
Yeah. We keep rolling. So tricking your inner dialogue. See, these are all
Yeah.
things that,
Your inner dialogue is your inner dialogue because of
Trauma?
small or big. Yeah, sure. Traumas that have formed identities, stories that you're telling yourself, identity basically, like
Yeah.
clinging to the ego in one way or another. That's all inner dialogue is ever.
yeah, it's not based in reality.
So
Is it? No, never is. Surely.
no, I mean, because even the trauma that created the inner dialogue and the identities that you've created is trauma by how you perceive to how you perceive the situation, right?
Yeah.
Because something can happen to somebody and then you decide what that is to you.
Yeah.
Wish I could think of a good example right now, but you and I could experience the same thing. You and I could go into that spa and it could be traumatic for you.
Yeah, it will
Because,
be.
right, you're thinking about this, that, and the other thing. And
Yeah.
it could be, I could find
Inner peace.
Inner peace.
Which
So
is what we're
it could be
looking
an
for out on
enlightening
this.
experience for me while it's traumatic,
Oh, it
for you.
100% would be.
right? The same exact experience, and it's just based on how we're perceiving it. So yes, it is essentially, it's all made up.
It's crazy, isn't it? That our own minds can...
Yeah, just take yourself out of the equation and continue to take yourself out of the equation.
I think my biggest thing as well is a really real fear of failure. I know we've talked about it a lot, but I have a genuine... I don't fear anything. Not really. I don't fear anything. Just failure. And
What
that's
does
not
that
even
mean?
a thing.
No. So what does that mean?
I guess it finds identity in how it manifests. So it's not a thing in itself. The thing is how it manifests. So you can then tag an identity to it because it feels like this. This failure feels like this. Or this failure feels like this. So it then becomes an identity. And if you can relate to that feeling, and that feeling is consistent, then this thing that isn't a thing suddenly becomes a thing, or a seagull.
And is the failure an issue because of other people?
Possibly because perhaps that's what are people
Because
gonna
your
think
fear
of
with
me
the
thing?
spa is other people thinking about you.
Judgment, what they're going to think of me. That's a very real kind of... And that, in fact, jumping on the back of that, Humble the Poet, that guy you sent me the pod, and I got his book, he talks about that in that, and it's a spa situation.
Oh yeah,
Have
that's
you
right.
read that bit?
That's right. No, but
Saw it
it
in the
was in the
pod, yeah.
podcast. Yeah.
It is exactly that.
Yeah.
But I guess the difference between me and him is he went through with it. But the irony is, he went through with it because of a fear of looking bad in front of his friend. Because before it came to light exactly what the spa was, his friend was like, "Oh, I love how open you are."
Uh-huh.
And then when the guy realised what it was, he couldn't then tell his friend, "I'm not that open, I don't want to do that." So that was still a fear of judgment
Yeah.
that drove him to even do it. So I would only go in that spa because I wouldn't want you to feel worse of me. Not because of me. I wouldn't go and do that because I want to. I'd recognise the connotations of it growing my mind and it building that kind of metaphorical muscle. But I'd only do it because I wouldn't want you to feel bad. You wouldn't want you to look at me in a negative light. Oh, Aldous just doesn't push himself. Right? Because to you, like going in a spa, you're like, hell's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
Yeah, but I could empathize, I suppose, with like, I understand.
Can you? Do you have a negative self-image? Have you ever had one?
Maybe more subtle. I had more limiting beliefs probably than straight negative self-image. I don't think I ever had an issue with being worried about what other people thought. Thankfully.
Yeah.
But a lot of limiting beliefs in there. A lot of limiting beliefs in there. About how much money I can make, about how successful I could be as a racer, as a business person, all of that, but never, I guess, never worried about what other people thought in that sense.
I guess
I'm trying to
there's a
think.
reality attached to the things you've just listed that you can achieve. I always find myself thinking, how do I achieve not worrying about what people think of me? Do I just continue to just do stuff regardless, and that slowly goes away? The things you listed, you can go out and actively achieve those things. Like, what could I earn? How successful could I be? You can grab those things. But how do I shift that narrative of, do I just continue to do it despite those feelings, which then strengthens me?
I think you just started leveling up and learning. So I think you just need to really continue that journey, because the more that you read, the more that you will understand that you aren't the main character in that sense.
Yeah.
Right. And then, like I said, take yourself out of the equation. Nobody's thinking about you.
Yeah.
I don't want to be morbid, but nobody really cares about you other than your family.
Yeah.
Right.
100%. Yeah.
And even then, there's levels to this, but even your family will serve their needs before yours, typically, always. Right?
I'm trying to instantly think of
Like their survival needs,
time
or
that's happened. I can't think of one.
yeah, not in like a selfish way, and it would be subtle, but
What you're saying is we all do that.
we all do that because we have to survive first.
So that's our survival instinct from kind
And
of
there's levels to
our
it.
ancestry.
Yeah,
Early
you
man.
have to first survive,
Yeah.
and then you can thrive after that. But even then, there are varying levels. Everybody is just trying to figure out for themselves what the heck they're doing. So nobody is really thinking about you. Nobody is really thinking about you.
Yeah.
We got two more coming up to the tee.
We're gonna get hit twice.
And they're not driving carts, they're pushing bags, which is usually a sign that
Pretty good.
maybe they're pretty good.
Do we just apply the
Thumbs up method
thumbs
again?
up method?
Are you okay with us here?
Go for it.
I like it.
Yeah, I think that's good. That's good teamwork.
And even the story I told you today about how I got through the insecurity of my ex-girlfriend cheating on me by basically saying that it was out of my control. It's sort of
Yeah.
along the same lines as your life has nothing to do with other people.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
certainly they will always. You can't control what other people do, say, or think.
Nice.
That's lovely. It's a good shot. I like this.
Yeah, this is fun. That one was pretty close.
I'm just gonna say, if the podcast just ends, that means
We got hit?
got hit.
Are you jumping on me for protection, or am I jumping on you?
Oh, I got you.
Same.
No practice swing. I like it. Quick to get to
That's
it.
a good shot too.
Yeah, these guys are solid.
Yeah, that's
that
a
was
great
even
shot.
better.
That's a lovely shot.
That was nice.
What, didn't neither
Sweet.
of those look great coming off the
Damn.
Probably the biggest seagull I've ever seen. Sorry, I digress.
Yeah.
But did you read Inner Excellence yet?
So I have this thing. Well, I've probably told you. You'll give me book recommendations. I go, yeah, I'll grab that.
Yeah.
Then I don't.
Right.
That's just me being transparent.
Yeah.
So
That's a
no.
loser thing to do.
I know.
I used to do that.
But I know you know I'm a loser.
No, you were.
I was. For 39 years.
That's fine. I was for 27 years. Probably 28. Maybe even 29.
Do you know what's weird, right? Is I feel a weird kind of... I feel weird about being better.
Yeah.
I feel scared about what I will
Totally.
look like and what life will look like.
It's because it's unfamiliar.
Yeah, when I'm better.
It's even the Humble the Poet, was it? I think in
Yeah.
his podcast with Jay Shetty, he said that your parents know how to push your buttons because they created your buttons. They're the ones that created them.
Yeah, I found that interesting.
That's kind of along those lines. Of
Yeah.
like the creating change is always tested by you defaulting back to that mode. So because your default mode feels comfortable because it is the one that you've practiced.
Yeah.
It's the one that is technically safe, although it's not safe.
Yeah.
Your brain tricks yourself into believing that it is. So yeah, of course, success or growth is completely uncomfortable the whole way because it is unknown.
And I can be honest and say sometimes there's been days where I've felt like I don't want to be better.
Yeah.
Because it scares me.
Yeah.
And you think, well, what will I believe when I'm better? Who will I love when I'm better? How will I love when I'm better?
Step one is I think you'll just be more aware to catch yourself when you have moments where you kind of fall from grace, so to speak. I think if I've gotten better at anything, it's been that. Because I still...
Open that up a bit
still
for
suck.
me. What do you mean by that?
Like, I would go days and weeks and months kind of falling back to old default modes and reverting back to how I used to act and think. Days and weeks and months without becoming aware enough to catch myself. Now, I feel like it's a few seconds.
Yeah.
Maybe a few minutes. Yeah,
Nice.
Those are beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful shots. Man. No, he's all right. You're good. You're good. No worries, fellas.
Good night, guys.
What?
What was I saying? What was I saying? Oh, I suck. So
You do. You're
so listen
awful,
to this. Like,
awful person.
and it depends on who I'm around and what's happening. I've fixed a lot of my triggers, but there's still some, like somebody getting hurt around me. My default is to get mad at them.
Wow.
And I can't help it.
Somebody breaks their femur and you're just kicking off.
Yeah, maybe not people, that, it's people that I love, that are in my family.
It's really
like,
weird.
Let's say
I can
Allie
relate to
or
that.
Millie now.
Somebody trips over, you're annoyed they've tripped.
Yeah, like Millie. Millie yesterday hurt herself, 2 days ago, hurt herself just over and
What are you
over
doing?
again. And I kept getting mad.
Yeah. That's interesting. What do you think stems...
My dad
Right.
getting mad at me for crashing and getting hurt. Which for him he was afraid because he didn't want me to get hurt. But he would always respond by getting angry. So now that's my default, and I have in the past been stuck in that, and I haven't been able to break that trigger just yet.
Dads are fixers, right? They're fixers.
Yeah, but for me, like it's we're working on it.
Yeah. And
And then I had a trigger that got set off the other day too because our pool just got finished and we put our furniture out there. And the grass hasn't fully come in yet. So the dog and the baby are just running around in the mud and then hopping on the brand new furniture. Totally fine, because what does it matter? But
yeah.
It stings.
Yeah.
And that's the trigger.
Yeah.
Why that? I don't know if that's fear of not having money. And when I started to get some material possessions, I was really, really attached to them. So I was always weird about in my car, like I wouldn't even let somebody drink a water bottle in my car because the condensation would get in the cup holder. That's how bad I was. And I've improved, but that trigger was set off a little bit the other day too. So I just had a few moments of awareness through that day. I was like, man, hey,
Yeah.
I've gotten a lot better in a lot of ways, but there's still, I mean, it's an everyday ongoing process. You're basically spending your entire life rewiring yourself from what was wired into you from 0 to 8. Yikes, that guy's gonna take a little while to get here.
God damn. Do you do thumbs up?
No, he knew he wasn't gonna get this far.
Oh.
They'll take a few shots to get here, I think. See where she's walking, that's where you just hit it.
Really? You just nudged it over there.
And now he's gonna hit her in the back of the head as she's walking. There, oh,
It's
okay.
a decent shot.
Wow.
My grandma can hit further than that.
It's a good shot.
Man, these guys are on point.
Yeah. It's really good. I'm impressed. Could that be like with the thing, with the mud on the new pool? Is that a control thing?
No, I don't think
It's not
so.
a control thing.
No, I don't think so. It's a
Fear of it not looking new and fresh.
yeah, which ultimately I guess boils down to money. Which the money boils down to me being attached to having it.
Or like a fear of not having it.
Yeah, or also I was telling Allie the other day that the way I earn the money is by making the ultimate sacrifice of spending time away from Millie and Allie. Right?
Mm.
So if I'm spending my time away from them, then that is of the highest value to me. So if a piece of new furniture is getting messed up.
But you've had to teach yourself that, right?
That's a more justified way of looking at it.
Yeah.
Where did that one go?
That's lovely.
Oh,
Lovely shot.
wow. Nicely done.
Lovely shot.
Came through, that was the best one.
Thank you very much.
Good job.
2 off the tee to get in.
That's okay.
We didn't
That's
take
all
the
right.
camera station
It,
that way,
it looked good. It looked good.
Cheers, guys.
So for you think fear of failure is kind of your number one?
At the moment, definitely.
Because of your role with us? Does
Yeah.
that play a factor?
100%. 100%. And it's because I've always had this really high expectation of myself, which I think all stems from that kind of wanting perfection, being a perfectionist, but also recognizing that being a perfectionist isn't a good thing.
And where did that stem from?
It's a great question. I don't know.
You haven't located it?
I don't think, no, I haven't taken that deep dive. I'd like to.
Yeah.
I'd like to. I tried therapy.
And?
I struggled with the places she took me. Perhaps that was because I didn't want to accept where the narrative was going, maybe. Or I didn't agree. Simple. But maybe I didn't agree because I didn't want to accept it. But I've never taken a real deep dive because I never really had to. I never had to. This is like a new concept to me. This whole battle with my mental health and battle with my mind, and it's new. So I'm still practicing how to manage it and what it feels like, what it looks like, and definitely the role with you guys is triggered. All of it. But I'm also recognizing leveling up. And I find that,
There's a nice compounding effect to that.
yeah, you suddenly feel like, oh, okay, this might not feel, quote unquote, good, but it is good.
And you just start seeing the direction that it takes you, and you feel tangible momentum.
Yeah.
And I think also you feel that when you're combining your efforts with a team
Yeah.
of people that are working towards the same thing,
Yeah.
business-wise, but also,
Personally.
yeah.
And I think, obviously, that I have this thing that, again, that perfectionism, I guess, is like, I have to be the best at something. So if you hire me as the tour manager, guess what? I'm going to go and be the best at. But what that does...
So this has to do, I mean, it had to have been something to do with your mom and your dad?
The only way I can take it there is because that was my foundation. But it's hard for me to pinpoint what that could.
And it's not
could or would
necessary
be.
to, because you can still learn how to fix triggers and responses to triggers without figuring out what the source of that trigger trauma was in the first place. I just think it is helpful to know, because you can kind of just have, I guess, a way to mentally calculate.
You can put it in a box.
Yeah. Right. It just makes more sense, I think.
I think because
Or maybe you could be easier on yourself.
Yeah, maybe. Because I'm so close to my mum and dad, it's tough to go there. And I know now I'm a father. I know how the way I am reflects on the boys. I see it. I'm forever like, oh no. I can see the way you're thinking is my pattern of thinking. So it's not even intentional, is it? We just rub off on our kids because we're a product of our environment.
Yeah, and those first 8 years are spent in theta, literally downloading everything.
Yeah.
So how could you not, if you want to look at it morbidly, how could you not mess somebody up?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
But you just got to do your best every second of the way, and if anything, just get better, so that way they can get better and better along the way with you.
Yeah. I think my
I get hard on myself now because I know that she picks up stuff so quick. So I don't even want to have little moments because she catches all of it.
Yeah, for sure. They're downloading it, and they're
all of it.
They're a product of their environment. It's fact. It's just the way it is. And I think it's but that could be a positive and negative thing, right? That's not just a negative thing. But I think my kind of main framework for how I'm raising the boys is to get them to talk and open up. Perhaps me and my parents didn't talk enough about the deep stuff. Maybe we didn't talk about the stuff that's hard to talk about. And I have a great relationship with the boys that we can talk about that stuff. Nothing's off the table. Nothing.
The positive there is that you learn how to process it. The negative is that maybe you can overthink it.
I can create overthinkers. And I think I have. And I said the other day to the guys at Morgan, my eldest, his school, I fear sometimes that I've created a monster. Not that Morgan's a monster.
I think it's a good starting point, though.
That recognition. Or the way I've...
Creating awareness and knowledge around the way your brain works and the way thoughts pop up and what do they mean and feelings and
100%.
How to understand them.
And we talk about all that stuff.
It might at first be, you might overthink it at first and overanalyze it at first, but then when you continue building understanding, you get to the next level, which is you let all that go.
Yeah.
But I think that's a good first step. It's better than not thinking.
Yeah, or bottling up our emotions and
Right,
not
which I think
finding
I was doing a whole lot of that
Yeah.
when I was little.
not finding an outlet.
I was unconscious and just bottling stuff up and not paying attention.
Yeah, I think that's almost worse. Being
No,
an
definitely worse.
underthinker, not an overthinker.
Yeah, I was an underthinker, then I was an overthinker. Right, and I was an overthinker for a while, probably, I don't know, 22 to 27.
Yeah.
Overanalyzing every little bit of everything. And I think that was a natural step in that evolution.
It's interesting.
Now I've just found inner peace, mind Moto. I say that jokingly, but I actually...
You have. You have.
But it is fleeting. So, it's every day you have to kind of wake up and take the steps.
So your new level of like inner understanding, can we call it that?
Sure.
In a relationship, how would you kind of go into racing with that new mindset?
I'm curious.
You don't know what that looks like.
No, I think calm and open-minded, and it'd be way more fun.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Even the day that I raced that bar Supercross.
Was different.
Yeah. Typically, even for that, an event that means nothing in the past, rewind 10 years ago, I would have been nervous because I would have held myself to some expectation of I need to win or whatever it was. And none of that. And it's not that I don't want to do well, but I prepare all that I can prepare for a situation. And then beyond that,
It is what it is.
yeah.
You can't think yourself quicker.
It's basically...
Can you think yourself quicker?
In that moment? No, but you could probably definitely think yourself slower.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you could think yourself quicker, I guess, but not really. That you practice for a reason. You practice so that when you do the thing in event form, that your brain can shut off and you can just do the thing on autopilot.
I think that relates to life as well, to some degree. I think there's less autopilot involved in life, because I think we've got to be. I've personally got to try and be more present.
Yeah, and autopilot is the default too, because you're
just end up going through the motions.
I'm reading a Joe Dispenza book again right now. It's an awesome book. I think it's called You Are the Placebo, and one thing that he references is that 95% of your day is spent on autopilot. 95% of your day.
That's crazy.
So your task is to wake up and be aware so that you can have new thoughts, which create new emotions and new actions and behaviors, which then create new memories of those thoughts and actions, which then create new thoughts. And you end up in like a cycle of newness as opposed to the old default cycle, which was the same patterns, thought patterns, which lead to the same
outcomes,
which lead to the same memories of the same outcomes, which then lead to the same thought patterns again, and you're stuck.
Yeah, and that pattern,
you're stuck in
cycle. Yeah.
So the key is to break the cycle. Just do anything different. And it talked about just going a different way to work, driving a different way to work, or catching yourself walking and walking purposefully a little bit slower. Or, I mean, there's a million things. Just disrupting patterns.
Yeah.
So that way you can become a little bit more aware.
That kind of comes back to that meditation you were talking about, right? The meditation doesn't have to be this...
Right, and that's a form of meditation.
Act.
Right, you could be walking and you could just make a conscious choice to walk a little slower, or that's a meditation.
Yeah, that's interesting. And I have been applying that. Breathe. I think you came up with that kind of... You didn't come up with it, but you mentioned about that kind of box breathing. Is it right? That breathing technique where you're breathing in, holding the breath, breathing out. I did start doing that, and I think that...
Man, I don't know. There was a lot of meditations that I got from...
I think it was mindset.
Wherever you go, there you are.
It was mindset.
Was it?
It was mindset. So go check out
Mindset by Carol Dweck.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Got 4 signed copies if anybody wants one. Comment below.
You do?
My mom used to work for it.
Ethan has 4 signed copies of Mindset by Carol Dweck.
Reach
It's a
out.
good book to kind of start at the beginning because it addresses growth mindset versus fixed mindset, which is fundamentally a pretty good place to start. You know what's funny is I created the mindset workshops, right, in the app, and I guess I had a fear with that. And my fear was that I had a little bit of like, who am I?
To be doing this.
Yeah. And then I worked past that pretty quick. And then I guess my fear was, how do I know if this is accurate? Or not accurate, but how do I know that these will kind of stand the test of time? And being, especially the first few videos that I released in that I called them fundamentals. And what's nice now is I know it hasn't been that long, but in reflecting on those since the first ones were released, how long ago, Ethan, for the mindset workshops? First ones? 6 months maybe? Yeah, so 6 months. I was dead on.
Yeah.
With those fundamentals.
Yeah, and I think
So far.
The good thing is you rely on your own experience, and I think our experiences and our testimony, personal testimony of life, I think is holds so many keys to seeing other people break chains, right? And I think when you share your personal experiences, however you choose to do that, whatever platform you do it on, because all you were sharing in those fundamentals is your personal experience and how you took someone's direction or advice and you applied it to your life and you recognized the positive attributes of that and then you put that across. And I think that's powerful when you can share your own experience.
Yeah, in hopes that it would just resonate a little bit in some way, shape, or form.
But if it resonates with 2 people,
Yeah.
you've done your job. If it resonates with 1 person, you've done your job. Which is partly why I started what I did on Instagram, my Mind Moto page, because I felt like it was just me sharing my experience. It's dark, it's raw, it's open, it's honest, but it's my experience. Uncut.
I think you too realize that your experience is everybody's kind of going through the same set of the same things.
It's crazy the amount of people that reach out to me and go,
It's the same.
I feel that. I
It's
feel
all
the
the
same.
same things, yeah.
And you're like, you?
Yeah, because everybody thinks like, why me? Or
Yeah.
that I'm the
feel
only one
alone.
that have these problems. Right, yeah. And it's all the same exact sets of problems. What time is it? That sun's dropping quick. 8 o'clock? How long have we been talking for?
50 minutes.
50 minutes.
Damn.
Give or take, probably I'd say about
5 minutes of,
10. Yeah.
Golfing drama.
wow.
Also,
How do we look?
shot. I'm really happy with how it looks. I want to just tell you something really quick. I just want to get my numbers, my facts straight.
I didn't press record.
Oh,
Since the podcast has started, we've done like 3 in the store.
3K?
Yeah,
Since the podcast started?
3 more. Yeah.
There we go.
That's what we're talking about.
See?
Summer camps with mechanics passes.
Thanks. I'm not even going to try. I will break a bone. Straight up break a bone.
There we go.
How's that feel?
Tore
Got a whole load of
I
pressure
just
built
tore,
up in your head.
just tore a pectoral.
Can't ride, classes off.
I will say I'm not, and I'm also not the best at that yet either. Al?
What, press ups?
No, I'm definitely not good at those now. I do let the amount of money that I make each day control the way I feel a little bit.
I think a lot.
Did I just make that obvious?
Yeah. I think a lot.
Yeah, for me or for you?
For you. I feel like that has a big sway in your narrative on a daily basis. Like
And can you tell that just by the way that I'm
projecting. Is that the right word?
Yep.
Projecting. Yeah. 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
You can tangibly see it. Like,
Yeah.
and you
Well,
think,
there's real pressure there.
of course, of course. It's a very real thing, and that's the thing. Like, I don't mean to like call you out suddenly.
Whatever.
He hates me. I've called him out.
Good.
Yeah, you do. But we all have these things that are hang-ups and things that we need to change our narrative about. And I think the fact is we can do things as a team to make money flow, to make money come in different ways. But you can't control what other people do. And that even means them spending their money.
Right. I was going to say,
You can't control that.
I can't
That's like me.
force somebody to go on the website. And
Yeah, that's like me working in a store. So I'm working in a store, you employ me. Nobody comes in that day, and you tell me off. I can't control that. I can't control that. I've done all I can. I've looked good behind the counter. Some may disagree. The store looks great. We've created a cool environment that people can walk into. You've done everything, but you can't make people come into the store. So maybe you'll see change in that if you see change in you. Same for me. Maybe I'll only see change in things I'm struggling with when I change me.
I definitely have a belief that the store does better depending on my state of mind on a given day.
Which is crazy.
Like we sat here and found...
You're crazy, man.
We sat here and found inner peace.
And boom!
And then made $3,000.
I got attacked by a fly. Do you see that then?
Yeah.
Went in the retina.
Do you believe that?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I've got to because it's just happened.
Right.
But that's a cool way of looking at it because I think...
And then on days when I start harping that like, bad day in the store, I think about how the day isn't doing well, and I think about lack.
Yeah, so is it more important to think about the days that are good, what we did well? Or is it more important to think about the bad days, what we did badly? And I don't think we do anything badly.
No. Yeah, I think the big pitfall, the big thing you got to be careful of, I have to be careful of in those moments is thinking in lack on the days that aren't going well. Because then I just get caught up big time on...
Do you fear that would kind of cause you to have a lethargic attitude towards this, or that's somehow an enemy to your growth mindset?
Well, I go into overdrive mode.
Yeah.
So I guess it's positive in that sense that it creates more work ethic, but it's not necessarily needed. I think the mindset is far more important because it's what reality are you living in?
Yeah.
In that day, right? Like yesterday.
But it's crazy, right? So a bad day in the store would trigger you in a certain way. Your reaction, quote unquote, would trigger me in a certain way. And that has a negative cycle.
Yep.
And we end up, I say, for example, as a hypothetical, I'll end up going, well, he's blaming me. And I'm there going, I didn't do anything. And then that causes me to be like, okay, I won't try again. And it has a weird kind of circle.
Yeah, and which
Do you know what I
reality
mean?
is that going to create?
Yeah.
The one in which the store does well, or the one in which the store doesn't do well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So having that kind of is weird. It's almost finding joy in the bad days.
You want to know the days that do the best in the store? Pretty consistently?
I'd love to.
The days that I'm at class.
Yeah.
Helping other people.
That's like
consistently.
Like the universe.
Yeah, and then
back.
I come back and it's just like, okay, cool, we did it. Yeah, pretty consistently.
It's hard to know kind of what... I mean, the simple fact is you need to go to class more. But
All right, Al, book me on. How many more are we talking?
Oh, but you're at capacity.
Yeah. Okay, good. That was a test. What's my capacity?
Oh no. I want to go
65.
55.
Probably.
I just guessed.
It's not a bad guess.
Probably less than 55, honestly.
I'll let you into a truth. I guessed 50.
Because there's 52 weeks, and I'm definitely not doing necessarily one a week.
No, but you're doing maybe you.
But there's sometimes I do back-to-back days.
You do a 5-class month, maybe. You ever
Sometimes,
done that?
Yeah.
You have done that.
Although I will say, I feel like this year has been a little bit slower for you.
Yeah, that was the goal.
Schedules and
I think in, what year are we in? 25. I think in 24, I probably did close to 70. Definitely in the 60s. 25, yeah, my goal would be to stay in the 50s and not break into the 60s. And then for 26, same thing, low 50s, high 40s I could handle. In the 40s would be good.
you got bigger fish to fry next year, huh?
Got a what?
You got bigger fish to fry next year.
We're going across the
Oh,
world.
I got a race
Not
next
that
year?
it's bigger fish.
Are you? Can we have it officially now on what podcast? What number podcast?
Podcast 139.
139.
I'm racing Supercross again.
No, what was that? Sorry, there
What?
was some background noise.
Sorry, what?
What did you say? You're racing what?
He's talking about it.
Supercross?
Stupid. Did you go cross-eyed then?
Supercross?
Wow. You're racing Supercross.
No, I don't know yet.
Why? Nerves?
No.
Do you need to think bigger?
So here's why I haven't
scared?
committed fully yet. I want to live in a nice place in the winter.
England. No,
England?
don't live in England in the winter. No, live in England in the winter.
To train for Supercross?
Oh, no, don't do that.
Yeah. So right now, unless anybody watching this has better ideas, Naples, Florida, and there would be a private Supercross track available near Naples, which sounds kind of nice because we could live
Live the dream.
near the beach in Naples, but it's not the best place. It's kind of boring.
And really hot.
Ethan just eat a bug.
How big was the bug you ate? I think it's still in there. Maybe it might have been a seagull.
Other option would be maybe Southern California, but
I'm getting to know regions and states. That's been something that's broken me. So
yeah, it's a lot to learn.
yeah,
There's a lot of states. How many states are there?
52, 50,
50.
50.
Yeah. Uh-huh. What are the last two? What are the ones that aren't connected to the rest of the United States?
Hawaii.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I
And
know.
there's one more. It's a cold one.
Alaska.
Yeah. Nice. That's
Alaska
good.
later. Alaska later. Should tell me.
What's a state
bad
that starts
joke.
with the letter I?
Iowa,
Excellent.
Illinois,
Another one.
What's a state that starts with the letter N?
Nebraska.
Excellent.
That was not.
What's a state that starts with the letter
Oh, New York,
T?
Texas,
Nice. What's a state that starts with the letter M?
Minnesota, Mitch.
Wow. All right, one more. What's a state that starts with the letter...
I'm nervous. It's like
W?
Wyoming,
Dang it. What's a state that starts with the letter U? V?
Utah,
That's big.
V.
V, Virginia, Utah. Was you
What was the first state?
ever? That's unfair.
I don't even know that.
That's unfair. Do you even know that?
I think it was like North Carolina.
What? The first state? Probably Connecticut.
You reckon?
What's the first
Massachusetts.
I forgot
See?
the UK too. Hold up. Hey Siri, what was the first state in the United
Ethan's
States?
asking Siri.
Will she know?
Delaware.
Delaware.
I knew that.
Yeah,
Dang
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Dang it. I
What
think that's like
did you say?
That's like the
Kentucky?
nickname of
You
the
say
state. I
Kentucky?
think. No, I said Connecticut
Oh.
and Massachusetts.
Oh,
How many colonies were there when the United States first started?
4. T1.
13?
13.
Nice.
See, 4.
I think.
And a
Yeah, I
few
think
others.
so.
I was good at history, but it's been a couple years, so.
What's another history question? D-Day? What was the date?
6th of June, 1944.
What's also the 6th of June?
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
What's also on the 6th of June?
Albert's birthday.
Yeah.
And you'll be what? 48?
46.
Look good. Still
I
got
look
press
good?
ups.
Your birthday's coming up soon.
Mine, when's yours? June. Yeah, June 6th. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Miles, my youngest, he's June 1st.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah, June's a good month. Usually high-level people are born in June.
I heard August.
I hear you.
When's your birthday?
September the 1st.
Oh.
1985.
Holy.
Holy moly.
1985.
Son of a biscuit.
Wow. Bonkers.
Bonkers. So how are you doing with the British words? Where are we at?
Blimey?
I don't feel you're doing well.
No, I was.
You were, and then we dropped off because I got stressed and didn't reach out to you anymore.
Right. So it's your fault.
Yeah. I'll take that.
Blimey, bonkers,
Mate.
mate,
Mint.
mint,
Lush.
lush.
Carnage.
No, that wasn't one yet.
We say that.
You say carnage?
Yeah, like any C-class race.
It's carnage.
College.
Crumpet?
What? Why did you think of crumpet?
Because I think people in England say crumpet.
No,
And they
you
eat
can't
crumpets a
practice.
lot.
I mean, we say crumpet when there's crumpets involved.
It's getting buggy out here. We're going to shut it
I
down.
think it's me.
I got to go potty.
They seem to be...
This is funny.
Maybe
Causing mass confusion on the
he
team.
doesn't like it. He's going for it.
He is.
He looks frail.
Do the viewers know we're on a golf course?
They definitely, they have to. I took a couple Snapchat videos, so I could like overlay it to just show like. When
All
they're
right, we'll watch how this guy does. We'll let him tee off. Okay,
No pressure.
he looks kind of strong. He's
He looks-
moving quick,
like a beast.
a little robotic.
I'd just be letting go of the club.
Smooth. I lost it.
Nah, I've seen it. I see it. It's good.
Nice.
It's a good shot. It's a good shot. Yeah, come on.
Well, episode 139. We did it.
Was it good?
I think so.
How
I
long's
never
that
know.
been in the making?
I never know.
I've been on at you about making a podcast for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
Did
I
it
never
go-
know if they're good or
Did
not.
it go well?
I think it went well.
It's hard to say. It's always hard to and sometimes when I think they went well, they
Don't
didn't go
overthink it.
I think it went well.
I didn't upset you by what I said, did I?
well. No, you can't
Good.
possibly. You could not possibly upset me. I'm unupsettable.
Hard as
I'm
nails, mate.
Also
Hard as nails.
unembarrassable.
Yeah, right.
Me?
Yeah, I could embarrass you.
I want you to be unembarrassable. That's a good word to take from
Unembarrassable.
Unembarrassable.
How do I obtain that? All right.
By
I'll
going
try.
into the spa right now.
No. It's too far. It's one too far.
Toodles.
Peace, toodles.